Tao po. Most people think it's just a polite Filipino greeting, but the phrase actually comes from something much older and more practical. Tao means human, while po is a marker of respect. So when someone says Tao po, they're literally saying I'm a person, in a respectful way. But here's the interesting part. This wasn't originally about manners. It was about identification. In pre-colonial Philippines, houses didn't have peepholes, cameras, or even proper lighting at night. When someone knocked, you couldn't see who was outside. So instead of opening the door blindly, the person outside had to announce themselves. Saying Tao confirmed they were human, not an animal or something else lurking in the dark. Adding po made it safe and non-threatening. Over time, what started as a safety check turned into a cultural norm. Even when doors became safer and visibility improved, Filipinos kept saying Tao po out of tradition. But the phrase still carries its original meaning. Every time someone says it, they're not just being polite, they're repeating an ancient way of saying, you can trust me, I'm human. Tabi-tabi po. This phrase is spoken when walking through forests, near old trees, anthills, or untouched land. It translates to excuse me or please move aside, but the belief behind it runs much deeper. In Philippine folklore, nature is not empty. It is inhabited by unseen beings like the duendes, small guardians said to live in mounds of earth or corners of the wild. People believe disturbing these places without permission can lead to sudden illness, swelling, or unexplained accidents. So travelers whisper tabi-tabi po as a form of respect, almost like negotiating with something you cannot see that's watching beneath the soil. Usog, the dangerous compliment. A simple admiration, especially toward babies or young children, can be seen as dangerous in Filipino superstition. Usog is believed to happen when someone greets a child with intense attention or praise, unintentionally transferring harmful energy. The result, according to belief, is sudden crying, fever, or discomfort without medical explanation. This is where it gets unsettling because the cure is also ritual-based, often involving a gentle touch, or even the caretaker's saliva applied to the child while saying protective words. In old communities, strangers were sometimes cautious about complimenting infants too directly. What looks like kindness on the surface becomes a potential source of harm. Psychologically, it reflects fear of envy, attention, and unseen emotional forces. The idea that a simple glance or praise can disrupt a child's well-being turns everyday social interaction into something quietly dangerous and unpredictable. Bati or pagtawad, neutralizing harmful attention. Closely related to usog is the belief in bati or pagtawad, phrases used to cancel out bad effects of attention or envy. When someone is praised too much, especially for success, beauty, or health, it is believed to attract negative energy or jealousy that can lead to misfortune. To counter this, people say puera bati or tawadpo, as if verbally shielding themselves from invisible harm. This belief reveals a deep cultural awareness of social pressure and unseen competition. It suggests that admiration is never completely safe, because it can carry hidden intent or spiritual consequence. In some stories, failing to neutralize praise leads to sudden loss, illness, or failure shortly after a moment of success, whether symbolic or not. It reflects a mindset where luck is fragile and words have weight beyond what they seem to carry in everyday conversation. Huwag magturo sa buwan. Don't point at the moon. This warning is often given to children, but the reason behind it is far more mysterious than it appears. In folklore, pointing at the moon is believed to bring misfortune, such as cuts on the finger or bad luck in life. Some versions say the moon becomes offended. Others say unseen. Forces travel through gestures made at night. The deeper idea is control over behavior in darkness, where imagination is strongest and fear grows easily. The moon, large and watching, becomes a symbol of authority that should not be challenged. Even without scientific basis, the rule sticks because it creates caution in moments of vulnerability. At night, when visibility is low and silence is heavy, even small actions like pointing upward can feel like provoking something that is silently observing from above. A similar belief exists involving trees, especially when you're in forests at night. Trees are often seen as possible dwellings of spirits or unseen beings, and pointing at them is considered disrespectful, as if drawing unwanted attention to what should remain undisturbed. If someone points at a tree in the dark, they are advised to bite their finger as a form of protection or to counteract any bad luck that might follow. It reflects the same underlying that gestures are not just physical actions, but signals that can be noticed by forces beyond what we can see. Huwag matulog sa tanghali, midday danger. Sleeping at noon is often discouraged in older beliefs, with warnings ranging from sickness to spiritual vulnerability. In some rural stories, the body is said to be more exposed to harmful forces during midday sleep, especially when the sun is at its peak and nature is unusually still. Others believe it can cause dizziness, confusion, or even encounters with wandering spirits during deep sleep. This is where fear blends with practicality, because midday heat can also cause real physical discomfort like dehydration or heat stroke. Over time, practical warning and superstition merge into one rule. The result is a belief that sleeping at the wrong time disrupts balance, not just in the body, but in the unseen environment around it, where timing determines safety. Another strange belief connected to noon involves sudden rain while the sun is still shining brightly. In rural areas, this unusual combination is said to signal that a tikbalang is getting married. There is no clear origin or explanation for this idea, but the logic follows a familiar pattern in superstition. When nature behaves in an unusual or contradictory way, people assume something equally unusual is happening beyond human sight. Sunlight and rain happening at the same time feels wrong to the senses, so it becomes tied to an invisible event taking place elsewhere. The oddness of the weather itself becomes the evidence, reinforcing the belief that unseen worlds mirror unusual moments in the natural world. Pagpag, after funerals. One of the most widely followed Filipino superstitions happens the moment you leave a wake. Pagpag literally means to shake off dust or dirt, but in this context it refers to shaking off something far more unsettling. The belief is that the spirit of the deceased, or even other wandering souls nearby, might follow you home if you go straight back after paying your respects. To prevent this, elders strongly advise stopping somewhere else first, whether it's a store, a cafe, or anywhere that breaks the direct path. That small detour is believed to confuse or leave behind anything unseen that might be trailing you. But here's where it gets more intense. Some also believe that what you wear matters. Going to sleep in the same clothes you wore to the wake is said to increase the chances of encountering the deceased in your dreams, as if you've carried a trace of that space back with you. And in more extreme versions of the belief, ignoring pagpag can bring sudden misfortune or even death to someone in your family. There is no scientific explanation for any of this, yet the practice continues, because at its core, it follows a simple mindset. When the cost of following a rule is small and the risk of ignoring it feels severe, most people would rather not take the chance. Huwag magwalis sa gabi, don't sweep at night. Cleaning the floor after sunset is often avoided because it is believed to sweep away good luck or fortune. In older interpretations, night is when blessings settle in the home, and sweeping disturbs this balance. Others say it attracts wandering spirits that are drawn to movement and sound in the dark. This belief also reflects practical life in earlier times, when sweeping at night could mean losing small, valuable items in the dark. But superstition gives it a darker meaning, turning a simple household chore into a risky action. The idea that cleanliness at the wrong time can bring loss creates a quiet tension in everyday routines, especially in homes where tradition still influences behavior. Another seemingly harmless nighttime habit often included in similar warnings is whistling. In many beliefs, making that sharp, echoing sound in the dark is thought to draw the attention of mischievous or wandering spirits, as if you are unknowingly calling out to them. The stillness of nighttime amplifies even the smallest noise. Because of this, people are often told to keep silent once the sun goes down, reinforcing the idea that the night is a quiet yet living and listening entity. Huwag magpagabi sa salamin. Mirrors at night. In Filipino superstition, looking into a mirror at night is believed to open a connection to other realms, or reveal things not meant to be seen. Some say it can invite spirits, while others warn of reflections that appear distorted or unnatural in the dark. Some beliefs take this even further. A mirror facing the bed is considered bad luck, with warnings that it can disturb the spirit during sleep. Because of this, elders often cover mirrors with cloth at night. In funeral traditions, mirrors inside the deceased's house are also covered to prevent anyone from accidentally seeing the dead in their reflection. This belief comes from the idea that the soul does not immediately leave the world after death, but lingers for 40 days before moving on. During that time, people believe the departed can still make their presence felt through subtle signs, familiar scents, or fleeting moments that seem unexplainable. Even without supernatural belief, low light can easily trick the mind, making familiar reflections feel strangely wrong. Over time, the mirror became more than just an object. It became a boundary between reality and something just beyond perception, especially when the world is quiet and your reflection is the only thing staring back.